Sharon H here. In this video, as a mum of 5, I'm going to give you my perspective on 10 things I wish I knew before I had kids. Things nobody told me before I had kids. Just remember, everything in this video is coming from my perception and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. And I'd love it if you smash that like and sub button. You'd really be helping me out. Number 1, kids don't come with an instruction manual. Whether you're considering a baby, know someone who's having a baby, or you're just watching my videos because I'm a bloody delight. One thing I can tell you for sure as a mum of 5, kids do not come with a step-by-step audiobook. Facts all day. When that slippery, screaming, gassy little mite goes home, you're on your own. Doesn't matter how many you have, it's always different. It's me, when you're pregnant, everyone will make a fuss over you. But the second that bundle of joy delivers, the interest in you will disappear fast. People will only be interested in that squirmy, screaming poop machine you just almost tore yourself into birthing. You won't be sent home with an instruction manual. You'll be thrown in the deep end. It's sink or swim from there. The baby can't tell you what it wants or needs. Each cry, moan and scream is like the baby's own bloody Morse code, and you've got to figure it out, and figure it out fast. You will, but there'll be some trial and error before you crack that code. Number 2, little kids are more interested in the wrapping paper than the present. Damn straight. Trust me when I tell you, don't go crazy the baby's first Christmas, or the second, you'll regret it. Little kids don't give a damn what's under the tree. All they care about is the excitement of pretty colourful things under the tree. The wrapping paper and boxes under the tree. Our first baby, we went insane his first birthday and Christmas, and he didn't give a damn about any of it. The trouble with that, we struggled for the next few birthdays with things to buy him because we'd bought it all for him already. Or by the time they're old enough to actually give a shit about the things you bought them, they're onto something completely different. When I found out I was having a girl after my first 3 boys, I was so excited. I bought baby dolls and Barbie dolls and dolls' houses. And Cassidy fucking hated dolls. Like, seriously hated them. No matter how hard I tried to shove my love of dolls onto her, she wouldn't budge. It doesn't matter how much you put under the tree, they're always more interested in the paper when they're tiny. And as they get older, they will have one thing they single out and play with. My mum taught me a little trick when my babies were little, to blow up balloons and place them amongst the present. This gives the illusion of much, and most kids love balloons. Except my first, he would scream blue bloody murder if anyone put a balloon anywhere near him. Number 3, no 2 kids are the same. You'd think having 5 kids from the same parents, they'd be pretty similar, right? Let me tell you, they couldn't be more different if we'd tried. Even from little babies, they all had their own personalities, likes, dislikes, wants and needs. What works with one child, whether it be soothing, learning, teaching, or even disciplining, will most likely not work with another. Every child is different, and every child is a new learning curve. And not to mention, especially with your first few, every new year, every new stage is a new one for the parent too. You basically grow and learn with the child, and you never stop learning. And you're most likely going to fuck up a lot too. And just when you think you've got this parent gig pegged, you have another one. And that comes with a whole new lineup of twists, turns, tantrums, and shit. Go easy on yourself. Parenting isn't easy, and it took me being a parent to respect just how hard parenting can be. Number 4, don't let anyone else tell you how to parent. Not your parents, friends, co-workers, clinic sisters, doctors, chemists, nobody. Point is, it's okay to take advice when you seek it, but when you think you're doing a pretty good job with your kids, fuck others' opinion. I had my fair share of others trying to shove their ideals down my throat over the years. Other people who didn't even have kids or had raised pricks of kids, and I sure as hell wasn't going to heed their advice. And definitely don't take advice from anyone who got their information from a fucking fucking book. I mean, I took advice from my mum as she'd raised 6 babies too. And I was so young when I had my first baby. But as my babies got older, I took less advice from others. No one knew my kids like I knew my kids. And obviously as our kids are growing up, times are very different from when we were growing up. I'm sure by the time my kids have kids, times will be very different again. Actually, who am I kidding? Everything's already way different. There will always be people who think they can do a better job. But fact is, if your kids are happy, healthy and safe, no one can do a better job. They need you and the job you're doing is just fine. Number 5, they grow too fast. Let me say that one more time for those in the back. They grow too fast. Oh, I cannot emphasize this enough. 1 minute they're all so little and loving and dependent, and the next thing they're all grown and some days can't stand you. Enjoy every precious second, because how fast those seconds accumulate into years. And the next thing you know, you're looking up at them. These precious little cuddle monsters soon grow into people in their own right, with their own problems and lives. You cannot turn back time. What is done is done. You cannot undo anything. Time is gone. I'm grateful I spent every opportunity with my kids. I was never a parent who hated school holidays. I wanted my kids with me all the time. I took them everywhere and did everything with them. We were close and had the best of times, and I don't regret any of that. Though when they're little, you think you'll never feel rested, you'll never have time to yourself. And when they grow, you wish you didn't have so much time to yourself. When they're little, it feels like it's hard, but it's not till they get older that you realize how much simpler it was when they were little. As my nana always said, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. Number 6, no parent is perfect. Let me tell you, I fucked up a lot, and I can admit this. Was I the perfect parent? Not a bloody chance. But I know I wasn't a bad one. In fact, I think I was a pretty damn good one. One thing for sure, our kids never went without. We did often, so they didn't. But that was our choice, not theirs. Even if at times my kids may have disagreed, I know I gave my everything to them till I could give no more. That I was forever learning, forever growing. I was young when I had my first baby, and whilst most of my friends were out living life, I was home changing nappies. Sometimes I think I dropped the ball trying too hard to be the perfect parent. Not being strict enough, being too strict. There's a fine line, and again, parenting does not come with a handbook. It does not come with do-overs. I doubt there would be a parent alive who would not do many things differently if they had the chance for do-overs. But life doesn't give that. All we can do is cut ourselves some slack and be more forgiving of the things we know now we didn't know then. Number 7, babies are easy, teenagers are not. You think little kids are hard work? Well, let me tell you, they're a fucking breeze next to teenagers. Even if they're the best kid in the world, teenagers are going to have raging hormones and their own set of problems. And the most of them are going to try it on to pull one over you the best they can. And if you're a young parent, nothing can really prepare you for that. You can try to get on their level, but you can't really get on their level because you're the parent. And much has changed since you were a teenager. But it's hard to get out of your own way and comprehend what life is like for them. It's your job to keep them safe, but how much is too safe and how much is not enough? You can somewhat prepare yourself for having a baby. Even a toddler who is twice the work as a baby. But a teenager is a whole other fucking breed. They seem to change overnight, and they are mind-numbing hard work. Instead of sending kids home with them pooping, screaming programmed dolls that are designed to put them off becoming teen parents, they should be given some insight into the smart, sassy mouth shit stick of a teen they'll be dealing with in the blink of an eye. Because in my experience, most go through the motions to some degree. The years go fast, and before they know it, they'll have a teenager on their hands and all the dramatics and such that come with them. I'd hate to be young today. I think in many ways, kids have it much harder than we did, and therefore being parents much harder too. Number 8, you're their parent, not their friend. One of my biggest mistakes was trying to be my kids best friend. I mean, this is kind of hit and miss for me. It had its bonuses, but it also came back to bite my ass. Your kids are more likely to confide in you if they think you're their friend. But in my experience, they're also more likely to think they can pull one over on you too. And you can build this false sense of security, thinking you know everything going on with your child because you're their best friend. Except whilst they're young, you are not. You can't be both. In fact, they're just counting on you going easy on them if you find out even half the shenanigans. And if you then switch into parent mode when it suits, they'll hate you for it. Being a younger parent, I definitely struggled with knowing when to pull the parent card and when to be the understanding friend. Oh, and it caused problems later on. That's one thing I wish I knew when I was younger. Finding that perfect balance. With age, that came for me. Number 9, you can't make them who they are not. You can instill your morals and values into them, but you cannot make them someone they simply aren't. Funny thing about kids is when they think you're trying to encourage them, they think it's because you can't accept them for who they are. And in a sense, it probably does come across that way. Even if from our perspective, we are just trying to protect them, keep them safe. We often as parents struggle to see things beyond our perspective where our kids are concerned. Even the perspective we had drummed into us growing up. The very same thing that most likely pissed us off with our own parents. We mean well, but it won't always come across well. We can only hope they grow up to be good, honest, empathetic humans. But for the most part, they are who they are. They are their own people who will go out in life and make their own successes and mistakes. All we can do is guide them to the best of our capabilities and be there for them if they want or need us, or if or when they fall. But we cannot make them anything they are not, and we shouldn't try to. Number 10, it's the most rewarding, unrewarding job ever. Nobody can warm your heart like your kids. Nobody can break your heart like your kids. Kids will drain and deplete you of every ounce. They will leave the tank empty. This is fact. But by God, nobody can fill your love tank up like your kids either. There are times you're ripping your hair out, locking yourself in the bathroom to cry after a bloody long hard day. But then you find yourself crying bloody tears of joy when they get an award. Kids are the most beautiful and infuriating little beings on this earth. You will love them like no other, but some days they'll have you wanting to dangle from the highest tree to escape them. I never truly respected my mother and all she'd done for me until I became a mother myself. You have no idea the sacrifices a parent makes for you, if you're lucky, until you're making the same sacrifices for your own child. When you know you'd lay down and give your own life for another human, you're probably a parent or a parent figure. I wish I'd known on the days it was sure as shit not easy. It was mostly sure as shit always going to be worth it. Break out of your shell, meet me